Hey YouTube, what's going on? It's Amy again with Bargain Mama, and today is a little bit different of a video. It's about my 5th time trying to do this video. I have horrible hiccups. I've tried to hold my breath. I've tried it. Okay. Anyways, hopefully they're just going to go away, right? And it's going to stop shaking my camera. So anyways, as some of you know that watch my channel, my oldest son got diagnosed with COVID about 2 weeks ago, and then obviously my husband and I ended up getting COVID from my son. So today was our first day out of quarantine, and I was supposed to go back to work tomorrow, but I am not going back to work until Monday, unfortunately, because I don't want to say it hit me a little harder, because this COVID is crazy. So I wrote a little ditty, I guess, about my experience with COVID. So I hope it's not like all over the place. And I do know that I've worked with people who got it worse. I know people who got it worse. So by no means, am I trying to play a victim or anything like that. I was extremely lucky that the people in my family got it, and we got it so mild. So I'm extremely thankful for that. If you watched my Dollar Tree video from earlier, I'm extremely excited because I think I can smell again. I can smell certain things. I can still not taste, but like I said, there's so many other people that I have taken care of and that I've heard about and I've read about that were not as lucky as my family and I. But I just wanted to kind of explain a little bit about my personal experience. And I do not normally write or anything like that. Sometimes I do, but I don't know. I'm extremely a busy person. I work several jobs. Sometimes I take one day off. Sometimes I work 7 days a week. It just depends. So I think that was a big part of what happened with me staying home. But let me just kind of read a little bit. I'm really sorry if this is all over the place and very confusing, so this is what I wrote. And so yeah, I wrote, as I sit here on day 6 of my COVID. So again, today is, we finished quarantining, so today's day 11. So I wrote this 5 days ago. As I sit here on day 6 of my COVID quarantine, I look back on the past year. The ups and downs, the sadness and tears, the everyday changes, and fear of the unknown. Throughout the past year, I have worked with people recovering from COVID and some who have not recovered. I have by far not quarantined like some, but I feel I have lived my life, taking the precautions I feel are necessary. So I have still obviously gone to the stores and stuff. I feel that I have done a very good job protecting me and my family, because even working with COVID and everything else, I was lucky enough to not get it. I put 3 people in my household work outside the home. So our odds are quite high to get COVID. And again, we have been lucky enough to not bring it into our home. I never got a break like some others when things closed in the beginning. We worked in some of the scariest unknown times. Patients, families, people had questions, and we had no answers. It was horrible. I want to say if I was going to get COVID, I am much more thankful I got it now, where there's more answers and there's more, I guess, there's so much more than in the beginning. So if I was going to get it, I'm very thankful I got it now. At my work, sometimes we didn't have PPE, we didn't have gloves, we didn't have anything. And you couldn't just say, I'm sorry, I'm not going to come work with you. You just did it. And you just were as safe as you could. It was just the unknown was the hardest thing. So I put, patients' families had questions and we had no answers. Daily, we had briefings and meetings as to what to expect and what was changing. There was no definites. It was a daily learning process. We would go in one day and they would say, if you test positive, you have to be out of work for 2 weeks. The next day we would come in and they say, if you test positive, you have to be out for a month. Then, every single day, the CDC changed the guidelines and we had no idea. We had no ideas. It was a daily learning process. Almost a year later, I feel my fear is gone, but the constant The constant unknowing is still getting to me. There's more answers, but still not all of them. I've seen roommates where I work, both compromised immune systems, both elderly. One would get the disease and the other not. Our residents shared bathrooms. Our residents shared rooms. We never took one out and put another one in. So it was just crazy to me. It's just this unknowing, like, why is it getting this person and it's not getting this person? Where I work, everybody has a compromised immune system. So if you're listening to the rhyme and reason, every single person in my facility should have gotten it, where they didn't. So it's just very scary. I put, some died and some unfazed. Through it all, my family has been safe. 10 days ago, as I left one job and headed to another, I got the call I dreaded. My oldest son wasn't feeling well and was having trouble breathing. Immediately, he was taken in and diagnosed with COVID, the first person in our family. And not because he wasn't safe and wasn't quarantining good enough. Sorry, which have been some of the comments. So we have gotten comments saying that if we had quarantined better, if we had done all of these different things better, we would not have gotten COVID, even from my own family. So, and says, which have been the comments, but because his manager continued to come to work sick and put others in jeopardy, we did what we needed for my son and our family. We made the best of a scary situation. Some people have frowned upon my family for being near my son and not social distancing in my own home. I saw how scared my residents were and could not have their families near them. At the beginning, even now, my residents are so scary. I put, I would never allow my own children to feel that way. So we got a lot of comments that my son is old enough, he can take care of himself. He was pretty sick. And I'm their mom, so there was no way that I was going to, I washed my hands after my son, but the thing is, my son lives in my home. So we were already, I'm not going to wear, people say you should have worn a mask to go into your son's room. You should have done this. I'm not doing that. And so you can unsubscribe from my channel and you can condone me for not wearing a mask into my son's room. But I'm just not. Sorry, I'm trying to not cry. This has been a very emotional time. It's like everybody puts it to the side that you worked and helped take care of all these other people, and somehow it's now your fault that you got it. So then I put, we knew we had already been exposed and immediately got tested. My husband and I both tested positive. My 15-year-old, who lives in my home and spends way more time with my oldest son because they play video games, never tested positive. He's been negative this whole time. So again, it's so weird to see how this goes around. So I put, when you're first diagnosed, the county health department calls and does a 30-minute questionnaire over the phone. One of the things they ask is, do you need counseling help or assistance? And they did. They called me. They called my son. A friend of mine, when she tested positive, they called her. So the county calls and they have all these questions. Who have you been around? Who have you this and this? Do you need people? Are you able to get your groceries? Are you able to, do you need a place to stay so that you don't infect others? All kinds. Do you need financial assistance? All that. So I put, one of the things they ask is, do you need counseling help or assistance? And this was on day one. I was thinking, of course not. I've dealt with this for a year. I've got this. And then I wrote, guys, I didn't have it. On day 2, I lost my taste. On day 5, I broke down. When we're sad or stressed or bored, we eat. I like to bake. I like to eat. That pleasure was ripped away from me. I had no appetite and forced myself to eat. And at that time, I was down 5 pounds, I wrote, but I'm now down 10 pounds. I feel like everything was taken away from me. And on day 5, I broke down crying and very depressed. I felt like mentally, I was dying. I know people have gotten this virus worse than I have, and that I should feel blessed that I can breathe and that I'm alive. I don't want people to feel sorry for me or think I'm a victim. I am just trying to give my insight of what I went through and dealt with. Okay, sorry. My husband walked in, and yeah, I just wanted to see what he needed. So then I wrote, this may be all over the place and very confusing, but as I sit here on my porch on day 6, I remember a year ago, without the answers we have now, how scared people were, what was going through their minds. What did they do to occupy their time? Again, so many questions left unanswered. I am obviously going to make it through this, but once it's over, I won't take as much for granted. Walks, dog parks, grocery shopping, work. So that is my 4-page letter. But on top of that, I just wanted to say that the depression was the worst part. I still have a fever. I still have all that, but the depression, I have to tell you that working with it, I was scared and stuff, but not depressed, but getting it, I feel like everything was taken away from me. My husband would sit there and snack, and I wasn't able to snack. I don't know how to describe. I want to say that if I hadn't lost my taste and smell, I would have handled it better, but I don't know. But it wasn't even, I didn't even have the joy of being able to just sit there and gorge on food because I couldn't taste. So it was like everything was taken away. I couldn't leave my home. I couldn't eat because for what? I had no appetite. My appetite is coming back a little bit. So I'm hoping, and then I could smell today. So I'm hoping that it's going to come back. But I just want everyone to know that even if people are not physically, like if they physically look like they're doing okay, mentally, sometimes it even surprises us. I could not believe the depression I hit. So that's why I missed a couple of videos. Physically, I was doing okay, but mentally, I was not doing very well. So I just wanted to say that for anyone out there that has or have had COVID or anything that is wrong with you, I feel for you, and I really would suggest that if they say, do you need the mental health support, you probably should take it because nobody knows how it's going to affect them. So yeah, guys, but I'm doing a lot better. I still obviously am emotional and want to cry. I was able to leave my house today. My life is great. I'm doing great. I just am having a hard time mentally a little bit with it and figuring things out. So I hope everyone is having a great day. Thank you so much for watching this, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.